Welcome to Baselines to Sidelines, the podcast where if you love baseball analysis with a little edge, a little realism, and a lot of passion, you're in the right place. Today's episode is all about the Colorado Rockies and what's been, frankly, a roller coaster of a couple of weeks. We've seen flashes of promise, some frustrating lows, and plenty of in between. But through it all, this young Rockies squad keeps showing something you can't ignore: grit. They've been scrappy, they've been relentless, and even when things haven't gone their way, they're playing with a kind of edge that makes you believe that there's more building here than people might expect. So we're diving into what's working, what's not, and what this stretch tells us about where this team is headed. Let's get into it. This is Baselines to Sidelines. All right, welcome back to Baselines to Sidelines. This has been, I know I've been away for a minute. I had some personal stuff going on that I had to deal with, so I kind of had to go dark there. So I know it's been almost 2 weeks since I have uploaded a video or a podcast, but I am back at it. I'm going to be back at it fully weekly again, and let's just have some fun. Let's dive right into it. I mean, really quickly, going to be Nuggets and Avalanche. They're in the midst of their playoffs. I actually, to my right, have the Nuggets game on my phone going on. They're down 3-1, but they're up at the half right now, looking to hopefully survive another day. And the Avalanche, what an absolute sweep of the LA Kings. That was really, really awesome to see. And they're the top team in the league for a reason. I mean, there are probably only two, maybe three teams, but I really only see two teams that can actually compete with the Colorado Avalanche. And I mean, maybe one of those is in the East, the other is in the West. But it's going to be an exciting playoffs, and I love this time of year because you have Rockies during the day most of the time, partially into the evening, and then you have playoff hockey or playoff basketball. This is just the best time of year. I mean, you can't get much better than this, honestly. I mean, when football rolls around, it's pretty amazing, but honestly, as far as like just overall sports in general, the rock the Rockies, and then you have the Nuggets, and you have the Avalanche, and whoever else you root for. This is just the best time of year, and you can't ask much better than this. But let's get into this. Sorry, my stutter is really out today. I apologize. Let's get into it. The Colorado Rockies have had quite a few up and downs, especially these past few series. You had the split with the LA Dodgers, where the Dodgers took the first game 7-1. The Rockies took the next two, winning 4-3, then 9-6, and then the Dodgers absolutely punched them back, winning 12-3. I mean, outside of Sugano with that little bit of a horror show with the first game, I mean the pitching was just overall absolutely solid from the starting pitching, and this is a team that when you think of the Colorado Rockies, pitching does not come immediately to the forefront. But they have one of the best starter ERAs in baseball right now. They have the best wins above replacement, also known as B WAR. They have one of the best wins above replacement in all of they have the best in all of Major League Baseball as of today. You have a team that is hitting almost I want to say last I looked it was 271. Their on-base percentage is sitting top 5. Their slugging percentage is sitting top 5. You have a team that, yes, their record doesn't speak much, but if you dive deeper into the stats, this is a team that is absolutely pretty close to night and day as you can get from last year's team that lost 119 games. And it's just wild to see because these past 3 series will tell you everything that this season has been and then some. I mean, you had that split against the Dodgers, who are the reigning World Series champions, by the way, back to back, mind you, and who are looking for a three-peat. And then also the Colorado Rockies took a series from the Toronto Blue Jays, who was also in the World Series. So you have the 2 World Series teams that the Rockies have currently a winning record combined. They have a winning record, a combined record against the 2 World Series teams. And then you had the series against the Padres. That one was a little bit of a horror show. You had pretty much on the pitching side, which, mind you, this series was at Coors Field. You know, the article that ESPN came out with, what was it, 2 years ago? Actually, a year ago. Where it talked about the pitching at Coors Field as a house of horrors. Yeah. Outside of the pitching, or outside of the hitting, everything else pretty much went right. The pitching was the thing that drove everything. You had Chase Dollander, who pitched an absolute gem, going 6 innings, giving up 1 hit, a lone home run, which was the only run of the game, at freaking Coors Field, where runs come plentiful. It was a rare game where it was a 1-0 game. Everything else went right, except for the bats, where the Rockies went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Now, the one thing I will say about the hitting that I am excited about is that the Rockies have dropped the strikeout rate quite a bit. The past 6 games, and I probably need to update that because I looked up that stat a couple days ago before they completed the sweep against the Mets. But I still want to say it's pretty low. But the Rockies have averaged over that 6-game span that I looked up, and I calculated it myself. They're only striking out about a 7.16 per game. So about 7 times a game, the Rockies are striking out. Last year, the Rockies struck out almost double, more times than I can count every single game. Their strikeout rate, again, this is still a relatively early season, their strikeout rate has dropped a lot. And the really just unbelievable thing is they're doing a lot of these stats, a lot of this stuff they're doing this against are not against schlumpy teams. They're not against garbage teams, outside of, like, they're not doing it against the Athletics. They're not doing it against, I don't even know if I could claim the Marlins because the Marlins are actually playing pretty darn good baseball. They're not doing it against these awful teams. They're doing it against the Mets, who have top 2 payroll in the league. They're doing it against the Padres, who are looking to probably be a wild card team or competing for the NL West. It's probably gonna be a dogfight for the NL West between the Dodgers and the Padres. And then you have the Dodgers, who were the reigning World Series champions. This is a team that is showing the capability to not only compete but win games against those teams. I mean, let's dive into the Mets one. The Mets series. The series against the New York Mets, who, mind you, the Rockies swept. Yes, the Mets are listless right now. They're in bad shape. How Carlos Mendoza still has a job as a manager is slightly beyond me, because I think the Rockies at this point had either fired Bud Black last year or about a day away from firing Bud Black. And that was the Rockies. The Mets usually have a quicker trigger. So how the Mets have not fired Carlos Mendoza is beyond me. I would not be surprised, and I am almost expecting them to do what the Red Sox did, where the Red Sox fired Correa. Correa. They fired their manager, they fired their hitting coach, they fired their pitching coach, they fired their bench coach, I want to say they fired about 8 people. I'm expecting the New York Mets to do this too. So yes, the Mets are pretty listless right now, but again, this is the freaking Mets, who have Juan Soto, who have Marcus Semien, who have Beatty. I mean, they have a friggin' legit lineup that when you think of pretty high level players, you're thinking of New York Mets, New York Yankees, LA Dodgers. You're thinking of these big name teams. So the fact that the Rockies swept them is just absolutely really amazing. And it helped the Rockies get to 13 wins by April 26th. April 26th, the Rockies got to 13 wins. Do you want to know how long it took the Rockies to get to 13 wins last year? June 12th, when the Rockies were, by that point, had made it to 13-55, were plunging, absolutely plunging to the worst record in MLB history, getting ready to clear the Cleveland Spiders of, I want to say, 1898, if not like really early 1900s. The Colorado Rockies were plunging towards that record. And yet this year, they have surpassed that mark. They have cleared that bar by a month and almost a month and a half. That is honestly one of the, like, I was expecting the Rockies to have a turnaround. I was not expecting this. I'm going to be honest with you. And I am a Rockies I have been deep rooted into this team. I tried to put my bias, and I put my bias. I said, here's my Colorado Rockies bias, and I am putting it on the shelf. And I even said, I did not expect this team to even win 10 games in the month of April. I said in the month of April that if they win 10 games, I will be damn near doing backflips if I could. I straight up said that because they have the toughest schedule in all of Major League Baseball coming into the season. And yet they have 13 wins. 13 wins for the month of April so far. They still have a few days left. They have a really tough 3 games up against a red hot Cincinnati team, which I will dive into here in a sec. But, I mean, the pitching, the bullpen has been pretty lights out. You have the starting pitching, who, for multiple games now, 3 games straight, went over 5 innings. 5 1/3. It was 5 1/3, 7 innings. And then I forget who, I'm looking it up right now. They went 5 1/3, 7 innings, and I want to say 5 1/3 again. Oh no, 7 innings. 5 1/3, 7 and 7. And this is Rockies pitching. This is Colorado Rockies pitching. And I mean, you have Seth Halverson, who went an inning and he only gave up a walk. No runs, no hits, none of that. Agnos gave up 1 hit. That was it. Dollander, he went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. His fastball, his changeup, and his curveball have been absolute money. And this is not me trying to really show my bias. I'm putting my bias away. I'm just telling you the stats. It's just absolutely. Sorry, that was not meant to happen. But they have a better record than 9 other MLB teams, which is roughly about 30% of the MLB. They have one of the toughest schedules in baseball. And like I said, and I'm looking at these stats right now. They have a 252 batting average, 317 OBP with a 400 OPS with 112 runs. The bullpen is pitching a sub 4 ERA, 377 out of 131 innings pitched. This is a night and day difference. About as night and day as you can get. Oh, and by the way, this team is also showing that they're willing to stand in when it's a low scoring game and go out there and grind out at bats where multiple players will have 9, 10, 13 pitch at bats. wearing down pitchers, wearing down starting pitching, getting to the bullpen sooner, forcing teams to get to the bullpen sooner. It's something that I can't even describe. I can't even give you the words I want to give. Because the Rockies are showing a breath of life that I haven't seen in 3 years. I don't think anybody has seen. Major League Baseball, actually I don't think MLB, but another article put out there, William Fletch, he did his power rankings and it put the Rockies 30th. Now I get that nobody's really watching the Rockies. I think me and the other local reporters are watching the Rockies, and then the diehard Rockies fans, and that's about it. And then you have the one or two people who work actually for the MLB who technically, it's absolutely their job. They have to watch the Rockies. Beyond that, nobody is watching the Rockies, and I understand. I absolutely understand that. You have to be a sicko, kind of like us, who are diving in and actually watching the Rockies day in and day out. But to put the Rockies 30th with the stats they're putting up, with the wins they are getting against the teams they are doing it, against the schedule they have through the first couple of months are honestly, and also with the fact that you have other teams that are on a quicker decline. The fact that the, again, New York Mets are above the Colorado Rockies. The fact that you have the fact that you have the Kansas City Royals, the Boston Red Sox, teams that are on, honestly, a worse struggle than what the Rockies are currently going through. The Rockies are only 3 games below 500. Where are the Dodgers? Where are the Royals? They're a lot further. A hell of a lot further from 500. And yet, the Rockies are ranked 30th, according to this guy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the all-worldly knowing baseball person. Yes, I have watched baseball my entire life. I have played baseball. Like, it has been around me my entire life. But I'm also not going to sit here and beat my chest and say, listen to me, I'm the all-worldly knowing baseball savant. Because that's just not me. I know stats, I know ball. I'd never played in the league. The highest level I played was high school. But at the same time, stats do not lie. Wins do not lie. The teams they are playing, because that matters. That does not lie. Yet we're sitting here and saying the only good thing for the Rockies right now is waiting for Ethan Holiday to come up. Yeah, Ethan Holiday's exciting. He's an exciting prospect. I love, when I get the chance to, I watch the high or low A Fresno games. I watch those games. I watch Ethan Holiday. He's fun to watch. I was excited when they drafted him. But I could list off 3, 4 other players down in the minor leagues right now, who are going to come up well before Ethan Holiday, that I'm honestly extremely excited about and looking forward to seeing what they can do in the show. You have Roldy Brito, who looks to be just on an absolute heater, and he is just lighting up the minor leagues. You have Charlie Condon, who is honestly going to make his debut this year. I expect it probably after the All-Star break. But Charlie Condon is going to make his debut. And you want to talk about a prospect that has been on fire? And is probably looking to be a big impact and have a big role with the Rockies at some point? Charlie Condon is that. Then you have Brody Brecht, who's pitching absolute filthiness down in AAA. Down in AAA. You have Brody Brecht, who's on fire right now. And mind you, everybody talks about pitching at elevation. Let's not forget, Albuquerque is about same elevation, actually higher, than Denver. So you want to talk about a pitching nightmare. And he's also pitching in the Pacific Coast League, where not only do you have Albuquerque, but the ballpark is escaping my mind, but you also have another high elevation ballpark where you're essentially pitching on the moon. That's what somebody equated it to when it comes to pitching in the Pacific Coast League. In the Pacific Coast League, if you have a lower than 6 ERA as a pitcher, you're pitching pretty damn good. Because that's how hard it is to pitch in that league. And Brody Brecht is lighting it up. I don't know his ERA off the top of my head. I'll have to look that up. But you have other prospects outside of Ethan Holiday for fans to be excited about. I'm going to be honest, it's kind of frustrating to see when you see somebody who hasn't done their research. It's just, if you put the Rockies at 30th, Christian Saez, who is a wonderful, wonderful beat writer with DNVR, he even said this. If you're going to put the Rockies at 30th, back it up. State why. Don't just put the whole, oh, we're just waiting for Ethan Holiday. That's not even close to true. And here we go. Brody Brecht. He's pitching, he has a 3.55 ERA. And he's down in Spokane right now. I thought he was down in AAA. That's my apologies. I thought he was a little higher than that. That's on me. But still, Brody Brecht is pitching an absolute gem. I'm thinking of Sean Sullivan. That's who I'm thinking of. That's my apologies. I got the pitchers mixed up. But still, Brody Brecht is another one I'm really, really, really excited about. So you have a lot. There's a lot for Rockies fans to be excited about. Other than waiting for Ethan Holiday, who is still, if I had to guess, a year and a half out. Like, I would be utterly shocked. Pleasantly surprised, but utterly shocked if Ethan Holiday made his debut this year. Next season would be about the earliest, and I mean truly the earliest I would expect to see Ethan Holiday. up at the majors. There's other prospects to be excited about, and there's other stuff to be excited about for the Rockies. I mean, you have Mickey Moniak, who damn near hits a home run every single game. He's on an absolute tear right now. Then you have Troy Johnston, who, I mean, he has easily the one of the best personalities in all of Major League Baseball. And he has a right now has a 315 batting average with a 371 on base percentage, a 449 slugging, and an 821 OPS. I mean, and about 20 strikeouts. Yeah, the strikeouts are a little high. But beyond that, the dude is just playing good baseball. He's making plays in the outfield. He's making plays at first base. And then he gets up to the plate and he grinds out at bats and he gets hits. I mean, he has 28 hits in 98 plate appearances. That's just. I'm not saying it's like MVP level. It's not. That would be delusional. But it's good hitting. It's good baseball. It's just outright, you can put the stats where they are. And you can say it is good baseball. And I love to see that. I mean, there have been some good pickups this year through free agency. Michael Lorenzen looked a bit concerning. He's pitching damn good. Tomoyuki Sugano, outside of the Dodger game, he's pitching damn good. But as far as I know, the Dodgers have always had their number. But the Dodgers have always had Tomoyuki's number. But you have Sugano, who's pitching well. You have Lorenzen, who's pitching well. You have Jose Quintana, who's pitching well. You have the bullpen, who is kind of on fire right now. And then you have hitting to back it up with Troy Johnston, Mickey Moniak. Tovar's in a bit of a slump right now. I hope to see him kind of get back up there. But I mean, somebody described it perfectly, and I wish I knew who it was. But the Rockies right now, outside of four just absolute anchors on the team, and I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean them as like, they're holding down the team. They're holding the team in place. They're keeping them. No, I mean like outside of four anchors where they are trying to sink the ship, keep the ship from moving. Outside of four anchors, the Rockies are damn near playing, and you can look up the stats because I've been telling you the stats. The Rockies are playing damn near playoff ready baseball. Are they going to be a playoff team? No. No, they are not. If I said that, I would be utter delusional and I would not be doing the right thing. As far as me being a reporter, wanting to be a journalist, that would not be the right thing to say. Because this team is not ready. This team is not at that point. But they are getting to that point. They are building to that point. You can actually see a progression where they can get to that point. And it's a little bit faster of a pace than I think anybody expected. I know I didn't expect it. Does that mean they're going to be a playoff team next year? No. I don't know what next year's going to look like. Nobody does. We don't even know if there's going to be baseball next year. But the fact that the Rockies are playing with this grit, they're trying to cut down the strikeouts, they're grinding out at bats where they're having multiple 9, 10, 12 pitch at bats. You have these players who are getting hits, who are getting on base, being aggressive on the base paths with stealing. I haven't even brought up the stealing. And even one of the fastest guys on the team is in Mike McCarthy. He's not even really getting on base. Their steals could be up even more if he was getting on base more. This is truly a team that is showing a grit, a fight, and a will to actually be better and have a path forward. And give a hell of a lot of credit to this coaching staff. Alon Leishman and his crew with Gibbous and his name is going to hit me and it's going to hit me hard, but his pitching crew, they have made some significant changes and some significant good changes to the mechanics and to how these guys are pitching and their arsenal. I mean, they're wheeling and dealing. Some of these guys are just absolutely wheeling and dealing right now. And Kyle Freeland, who the Rockies made a ton of moves where they sent a few people, they sent 2 people down to AAA. They reinstated some. They basically have 25 of 26 men on the roster, which the anticipation is that Kyle Freeland is going to be reinstated off the IL. Up until Kyle Freeland went onto the IL, he was pitching lights out too. This team is really out there to prove and to be fun. Chase Dolander, after his outing with the Rockies, he said to the reporters in New York, "We have a chance to do something special, so keep an eye out for us. It's going to be fun." And I'm kind of leaning on that. Again, there's still a lot that needs to happen before anybody can say that this team is a playoff team or even a team that could be competitive towards being a playoff team. But the signs are there. There's actually a pulse. You can feel that surgence. You can see that surgence. If you watch this team for even one game, I encourage, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched a Rockies game yet, watch the game. Watch one game. And you will see a team that has grit, that has fight, and they're not willing to just roll over and die. Kind of like last year's team. This front office, this coaching staff has really helped bring a new life to the Colorado Rockies. Even with the bit poor of a performance against the Padres, and even with the 2 bad games against the LA Dodgers, you could see that there was stuff there. You could see that this team was out there looking to show how different they are and that they are willing to grind it out and fight. They are showing a bond that they haven't shown before. They're willing to go to bat for each other. They're willing to play to get another on base or to sacrifice a to move a player from first to second or second to third. They're grinding these out. They're showing that. And it's just even if you're just a baseball fan, you don't have to be a Rockies fan, just a baseball fan, you will see good baseball. A little bit of frustrating moments, but again, this is still a team that is learning, that is developing, that is still coming into their own as far as learning how to win. But even as a baseball fan, you have to appreciate what is going on in Colorado. And they're starting to get some attention. And I love to see. Hop on the bandwagon. There's plenty of room. You want to join in? Hop on. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to die. I'm reinvigorated. I'm back to it. We're going to have a good time. And I'm going to die. I'm going to cover this team from here to back, and we're going to just have a bunch of fun through the rest of this season. So hop on board. I think this is going to wrap this episode, but like I said, I had some personal stuff I had to deal with, so I had to take that week. I had to kind of go dark for that week, but I'm back. I'm better than ever, and we're here. Let's cover some Rockies baseball. Let's cover some baseball in general. We'll cover some other sports here and there, but let's have some fun. Let's enjoy. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on X. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. This is Baselines to Sidelines. Nick, out.